Hi, I'm Elise. I've been working two jobs since I was 16, and I'm still barely making ends meet. The piles of unpaid medical bills from my dad's heart surgery last year keep me up at night. You could solve all our problems if you weren't so damn stubborn, my sister Diana said, flipping through a magazine featuring Marcus Reed, the city's most eligible bachelor. His company photo showed him in his wheelchair, handsome face serious beneath perfectly styled dark hair. For the millionth time, I'm not marrying someone for money, I said, organizing the stack of past due notices on our kitchen table. He's worth millions, Elise, and he's actually good looking for a guy in a wheelchair. Diana tapped the magazine. I've been trying to get his attention for months, but he never gives me the time of day. Mom walked in looking tired. Diana, I need you to stop this obsession. Marcus Reed clearly isn't interested in you. But he needs someone, Diana protested. Everyone knows he's looking for a wife to help with his situation. Dad wheeled himself in from the living room, his face pale. The hospital called. They're threatening collections again. The room fell silent. I felt the weight of their stares. Actually, I heard something interesting, Diana said slowly. Marcus mentioned needing a caretaker wife. Someone practical, not a gold digger. Mom perked up. What are you suggesting? Elise could marry him, temporarily, just until I can convince him to fall for me instead. I nearly choked. You can't be serious. Think about it, Diana continued. He gets a caretaker who isn't after his money. Dad gets his bills paid. And eventually, I'll step in as wife number 2 when he realizes we're perfect together. Absolutely not, I said firmly. Dad looked at me with desperate eyes. The doctor says I need another procedure. 3 days later, I found myself at Marcus Reed's mansion, sick to my stomach. His assistant led me to a sunlit office where Marcus sat behind a massive desk, wheelchair positioned perfectly. You must be Elise, he said, voice deep and smooth. He was more handsome in person, with intelligent eyes that seemed to see right through me. Yes, thank you for meeting me. Your family's situation sounds difficult. I'm sorry to hear about your father. I shifted uncomfortably. They shouldn't have contacted you. He wheeled around the desk. I appreciate directness, Elise. I need a wife for certain business arrangements. Someone practical who understands this is primarily a business arrangement. And you think that's me? I think we could help each other. His smile seemed genuine, but something flickered in his eyes. I'll cover your father's medical expenses as a gesture of goodwill while you consider my offer. As he reached to shake my hand, I noticed his legs tensed slightly, just for a moment. Then his expression changed, as if catching himself in a mistake. Think about it, he said smoothly. This could solve everything for your family. I nodded, but inside something felt very wrong. The wedding happened so fast my head was spinning. 1 minute I was signing a prenup, the next I was saying I do in front of a judge with only our families and Marcus's business associates present. Welcome home, Mrs. Reed, Marcus said as we entered the mansion that first night. The east wing is mine. You'll have the west wing to yourself. So we're not sharing a room? Let's not complicate things. He wheeled himself down the hallway. Remember our agreement. 3 weeks into this bizarre marriage, I was organizing Marcus's medication when I realized something odd. His prescription bottles were always full. I checked the dates. None had been refilled in months. Later that evening, Diana showed up unannounced for the 3rd time that week. Don't you look domestic, she smirked, watching me prepare dinner. How's married life treating you? Why are you really here, Diana? Just checking on my sister. Is that a crime? She glanced at her watch. Is Marcus in his study? Business call. He doesn't want to be disturbed. I'll just peek in to say hello. She slipped away before I could stop her. When I brought coffee to the study 20 minutes later, I heard them through the door. She doesn't suspect anything, Marcus was saying. Just stick to the plan. It's taking too long, Diana complained. I'm tired of sneaking around. I quickly backed away, mind racing. The next morning, I called my childhood friend Grace, who'd recently started working at Marcus's company. Can we meet for lunch? Somewhere private? At a cafe across town, Grace looked nervous. What's going on? Tell me everything you know about Marcus's condition. She hesitated. There are rumors, but I could lose my job. Please, Grace. I think I'm being played. Some of the senior staff joke about his miraculous recovery when investors aren't around. The executive assistant swears she's seen him walk. 2 days later, I was dusting the rarely used home gym when I heard a noise. Through the cracked door, I saw Marcus rise from his wheelchair, stretching fully before starting a set of weightlifting exercises. My gasp gave me away. Elise? He froze, then casually sat back down. I can explain. You can stand? You can walk? My condition is complicated. Don't lie to me. I heard you with Diana. What are you two planning? His face hardened. Fine. You weren't supposed to find out yet. Find out what? I needed a wife for appearances. The board thinks a family man is more trustworthy. My investors are traditional. They see the wheelchair as a weakness, so I needed a devoted caretaker wife to complete the image. And Diana? She'll be my next wife once you've served your purpose. She understands ambition. You were just a stepping stone. You faked a disability to trick me into marriage? Your sister approached me with the idea. Quite brilliant, actually. We needed someone naive enough to play the part convincingly. My blood boiled. And after you're done with me? A generous divorce settlement, provided you keep your mouth shut. He smirked. Who would believe you anyway? The gold-digging wife trying to slander the disabled CEO? Please. I smiled at Marcus the next morning as if nothing had changed. Coffee, dear husband? He looked surprised but pleased. You're not upset about yesterday? What's done is done. At least now I know where I stand. I placed his cup down carefully. How long until the merger with Harris Technologies? 2 months. Why do you ask? Just trying to understand our timeline better. I kissed his cheek, feeling him tense with suspicion. I should get better at playing the devoted wife if I want that generous settlement. The moment he left for work, I called Grace. He admitted everything. But there's more going on here than just a fake disability. What do you need from me? Access. Can you get into his work email? Not directly, but I can help you connect with someone who might. That afternoon, I met Richard Banks, Marcus's business partner, at a quiet coffee shop outside of town. Why should I help you? His eyes were tired, suspicious. Because you already know something's wrong. I can see it in your face. Richard sighed deeply. Marcus isn't who he pretends to be. The wheelchair is just the surface. He's been moving company funds, preparing to pin financial irregularities on me. How do you know? Found documents on his private server. He's setting me up to take the fall while he absconds with millions after the merger. And my sister Diana? She's been feeding him insider information from your family lawyer. They've been planning this for nearly a year. I felt sick. What exactly do they have planned for me? Public humiliation. Right after the merger, he'll expose you as a gold digger who tried to defraud a disabled man. Your family will be implicated too. Diana gets to play the loyal sister who exposed your scheme. I need proof of everything, not just the disability fraud. Richard slid a flash drive across the table. Start with this. I'll need it back before he notices it's missing. For the next week, I played my role perfectly. Diana visited more openly now, treating me with thinly veiled contempt. The blue dress for the charity gala, she instructed while rifling through my closet. Marcus wants you to look appropriately wholesome. Of course. Whatever makes my husband happy. Meanwhile, Grace managed to place small recording devices in Marcus's home office and bedroom. He's meeting Diana here every Tuesday while you're at your father's doctor appointments, Grace said, showing me the footage. Look at this conversation. The recording showed Marcus standing perfectly, pacing as he spoke to my sister. The board is completely convinced. The wheelchair was genius, he laughed. After the merger, we'll execute the final phase. Elise will be destroyed. And my parents? Diana asked. Collateral damage. They should have raised smarter daughters. I met Richard again the following day with a plan forming. The annual Investors Gala is right before the merger signing, I said. Everyone who matters will be there. What are you thinking? I need access to the presentation system, and I need you to make sure certain board members hear specific conversations. That's playing with fire. No, it's fighting fire with fire. Can you get me these financial records? I slid a list across the table. Some of these are highly confidential. So is conspiracy to commit fraud. Richard smiled for the first time. The gala is in 3 weeks. I'll have everything ready by then. I spent the next weeks meticulously organizing evidence, preparing video clips, and creating a presentation that would leave no room for denial. Every night, I played the adoring wife while secretly meeting with Richard and Grace to perfect our plan. The night before the gala, Marcus found me practicing my supportive wife speech. "You've really embraced your role," he said, suspicious. "I'm just ensuring my settlement is as generous as possible." If only he knew what was really coming. The grand ballroom sparkled with crystal chandeliers and the jewelry of Silicon Valley's elite. I smoothed my blue dress, feeling the flash drive tucked securely in my hidden pocket. "Remember to stay by my side," Marcus whispered, his wheelchair positioned perfectly as cameras flashed. "Always, darling." I squeezed his shoulder a little too hard. Diana appeared in a red dress that screamed for attention. "You look appropriate," she smirked at me. "You look exactly like yourself, Diana." Richard caught my eye from across the room and nodded slightly. Everything was in place. When Marcus was called to give his speech, I pushed his wheelchair to the stage amid applause. As he began talking about innovation and trust, I slipped away to the tech booth. "Ready?" Grace whispered, fingers hovering over the controls. "It's showtime." Marcus's voice boomed through the speakers. "With this merger, Reed Enterprises will reach unprecedented heights." The screens behind him suddenly changed, showing footage of him standing, exercising, and walking normally in his private gym. "What the—" Marcus froze mid-sentence. I walked onto the stage, microphone in hand. "Ladies and gentlemen, meet the real Marcus Reed." The room erupted in shocked murmurs. "My husband has been deceiving not just me, but all of you. The disability that earned your sympathy and trust, completely fabricated." Marcus lunged from his wheelchair, proving my point perfectly. "Shut this down now." "You might want to stay seated for this next part," I continued as new footage appeared, Marcus and Diana plotting in his office. "After the merger, we'll execute the final phase. Elise will be destroyed. And my parents? Collateral damage. They should have raised smarter daughters." The crowd gasped. Marcus charged toward me, but security, briefed by Richard earlier, intercepted him. "That's not all," I announced. "Richard Banks, would you like to share what else you've discovered?" Richard approached the stage. "Financial records proving Marcus has been embezzling funds and planning to frame me after the merger. The SEC has already been notified." Diana tried to slip away, but Grace blocked her path. "Running so soon? Your part in this fraud is documented too." 2 police officers entered the ballroom. "Marcus Reed, we have some questions about financial discrepancies and fraud allegations." As Marcus was escorted out, he snarled at me. "You'll regret this. No one will believe you over me." They already do. It's amazing what happens when you have actual evidence. 6 months later, I opened the doors to my new business consulting firm, funded by the divorce settlement and backed by investors who respected how I'd handled the Marcus situation. My phone buzzed with a news alert. Former CEO Marcus Reed, sentenced to 8 years for fraud. The accompanying photo showed him entering the courthouse. No wheelchair in sight. Another notification. A social media post from Diana, desperately trying to sell luxury items to cover legal fees. Her comment section was filled with people calling her the sister who betrayed her family for money. Grace and Richard arrived for our business lunch, champagne in hand. "To taking down toxic people," Richard toasted. "No," I corrected, raising my glass higher. "To rebuilding after they tried to destroy you." Through the restaurant window, I could see my new office building with my name on it. No one would ever use me as a stepping stone again. What would you have done in Elise's position? Would you have exposed Marcus and Diana publicly at the gala? Or would you have chosen a different form of revenge? Or would you have simply walked away with the settlement money and started over? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story of sweet revenge against toxic people, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. New videos every week.